What's up, everybody, and welcome to an all-new episode of Casters of Horror. I'm Chris Mess.
I'm Shane, and this week we are diving into the slow descent of madness that is stop motion, I guess.
Stop motion.
Yes.
Stop motion animation. Did you ever grow up watching any of those stop motion? I mean, I know that stop motion was really big back in like the 80s and 70s and 60s and stuff like that. It was kind of cool to, I mean, did you ever watch any of those?
Come on, dude. You and I grew up in the time of the California Raisins, right?
I was going to say the California Raisins. So, yeah, Meet the Raisins was one of my favorite things to watch when I was growing up. With lick broccoli. Anyway, this is a film that was written and directed by Robin King and Robert Morgan, also directed by Robert Morgan. Has a lot of people in it that you may have seen a couple of them from some films and went like, oh, I recognize them, but the names you wouldn't recognize probably at all.
That's pretty much what happened to me here.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I've seen her in something. Oh, and I've seen her in something before, but you know, I can't place where or what films or anything like that. But anyway, this is a film about a young lady who is following in her mother's footsteps, apprenticing as a stop motion animator. And for some reason, like everybody that she's connected to is a stop motion animator. Which was kind of odd. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of these people.
Yeah, which would make sense, like if they all worked for the same place, but no, it's just like
random people. Random people that. Yeah, like she's dating some guy whose sister is a stop motion animator, and I'm like, well, that's kind of weird. But anyway, I digress. Rabbit hole to go down later. Anyway, this stars Aisling Franciosi. Yeah, there we go, as Ella Blake. Anyway, she's making this film. Her mother is ailing, gets hospitalized, and she's trying to finish her mother's work until she begins work of her own. Which takes these dark and twisted trails that seem to come to life. I'm not spoiling anything. This is literally what's in the trailer. So if you guys are going to watch the trailer, that's what it's in it. This little girl is telling her this story, and she's animating it. And
it's like a neighbor girl.
Yeah, neighbor girl.
Yeah, comes to her door and nosy, bratty neighbor girl, but yeah, and we'll get into that a little bit more too here in a bit because this episode might be a little spoilery, might not be, due to some content that we'll probably get into. I think it's probably safe to say, just if you want to go in completely blind, probably turn off this episode for now. But
I'm gonna come right out up front. I will let you guys know for the people who are here just to know, like, do we like it or do we not like it? I loved this film.
Okay,
I thought it was highly original. I thought that the story of it was really, really good. I thought that the premise of it was interesting enough to keep my attention. Which, having ADD, this is is like, but the tone of it was pretty cool. I liked that. And there's some other aspects that I will delve into here momentarily once we get into a little bit more spoilery territory. What were your thoughts on this? You might be completely opposite of me. You might be like, this is unoriginal. I could see it coming. I could figure out where this was headed to from the get-go. And
what I will say is, I thought it was unoriginal, and I could see where it was going from the get-go.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
I thought it was very generic and
Okay.
vanilla. So yeah, I really, really did. Like, honestly.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah,
We were two opposites on this one,
yes,
I
this
guess.
is one of our polar opposite reviews, I
Um,
think.
Now, I won't say that I was caught off guard where this was going.
Okay.
Um, Nor did I think that it was like, oh, I was completely shocked by the ending. Um, but I don't know. This one was a little bit more personal, I think, to me.
Mm-hmm.
And now I guess I will dive into a little bit more of the spoilery territory.
Okay.
This film deals a lot with trauma,
Yeah.
PTSD,
Mm-hmm.
her dealing with not feeling adequate enough, not feeling like she could be who she truly is because of her upbringing. She's in the shadow of her mother, all this sort of stuff. And she has this trauma based off of her upbringing.
Yeah.
Um, Her psychosis takes over.
Oh yes.
Um, Very much so, to where she develops because of her PTSD. She does develop a dissociative uh, mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Here's where I will warn you. I am going to spoil something very very big here.
Yeah.
The girl was not real.
Right.
She was very much a figment of her imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I get that. This one was kind of hit home for me.
Mm-hmm.
I get because I have dissociative identity disorder. I have multiple personality disorder. I have all these different things, and I can see a lot more going through a lot of these mental issues and these mental diseases, and I could see a whole different aspect of this film, I think, than a lot of people could.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I get where the writer of it was going, um, to the point where it leads to these extreme hallucinations of terror and trauma.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I've been through that sort of stuff with paranoia and hallucinatory issues. So I think that's why it hit a little bit more different notes to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why it connected a little bit more with me than some people. Um, I don't know. I dug it. I dug that aspect of it. It
Yeah.
was like somebody was trying to explain some of these traits of these mental disorders and
Yeah.
got it right.
Yeah.
I think that's what I liked about it.
I can see that. I think my two issues with that would be that I thought that the twist at the end with the girl was not a twist because I thought it was obvious, like almost the
Yeah,
moment this girl was on screen,
yeah,
right? And but even bigger than that for me is I don't know that there was actually enough setup, right? Because I don't know that her character really earned the trauma. As terrible as that probably sounds, it it happened so quickly, right? We didn't really get enough of the backstory, the terrible trauma of growing up with her mom. There's maybe one scene, like right before her mom ends up in the hospital, right? But other than that,
mm.
it's more like, oh, I'd rather be doing my own thing, But
See, I didn't get that.
um,
I
yeah,
didn't get that from it. I got this whole, and it could be just growing up and dealing with the things that I've dealt with and
hmm
all that sort of stuff, the therapy that I've gone through and all that. Just being able to go, oh, I get this
hmm
immediately from the get go. It was like I didn't need the setup, which
yeah,
was, and for some people they may need it, but to me it was just like I instantly connected.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, move it this half, you know, eighth of an inch, move it an eighth of an inch, you know, and I'm just like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, okay, I get this. I get what she's gone through.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it hit home, and it was just like, oh, okay, I didn't need the setup, and it could just
I
be, it
guess,
could be for me, and it may not be that same way with everybody else.
right. I just think, I think I know the part you're talking about, because it happens a couple times, right? But the first time is really just kind of like showing what she does on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Right. And then there's this obvious kind of like insecurity where she wants to help, but then it's kind of dismissed. And then later on, she's actually asked, well, what are your ideas? And she has nothing.
Yeah.
So that could, again, display a lack of confidence.
Yeah. I have nothing. I'm nothing without somebody telling me what to do.
Yeah.
Then going into where she has the hallucination of her mother talking to her in the hospital.
Yeah.
Clear into that point where it was like bringing up the trauma again, what she's going through. So, I mean, to me, I thought it was explained well enough to where it didn't need a whole lot of extra backing. But to me, I'm just like, you're wrong, Shane.
Yeah. No, I just for me, I think they probably could have given that even just a little bit more time to dive deeper into like why she feels this way and everything. But I mean, I don't know. Once there's this point in the film where it takes this turn, and suddenly you're in the to me what was a very tropey descent into madness where you don't know what's real and what isn't. Right.
Yeah.
And again, you and I, we've seen that.
It can happen quickly, though.
Yeah, but you and I have seen that like dozens of times in these films, and there have been ones where you've been like that it didn't connect for you, that didn't work for you, and then and times when you, like you said, you didn't appreciate that because it almost, maybe in other instances it was played more for just the story instead of
no, and this one to me really hit the nail on the head. Okay. I was like, this time they got it. They got how quickly you can slip into this trauma. Because like when it happened for me, when I realized what was going on with me, it wasn't like some long drawn out thing. It was like all of a sudden just it started happening, and I was just like realizing it and seeing this further descent. And so I mean, to me, they got it right this time.
I mean, good. I'm glad that you found something that's connected.
Yeah,
in that way,
it really did. So
I think if I had, I didn't hate this movie. I thought it was fine. I wasn't blown away by it. It was fine for me. I wish there had been more of the stop motion. Right? I almost feel
that would have been cool. Yeah,
I really feel like they could have taken that so much further.
Yeah,
and really used it to dive into the descent, into madness, and really used it to play up this idea of someone who is getting lost in their uncertainties. Of who and what they are, and just, I don't know. I would have liked to have seen more stop motion utilized better, and it just, I don't know, that particular aspect of the film definitely didn't deliver for me.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, let us know what you let us know what you guys think. Put it down in the comments down below. And while you guys are there, make sure to hit like and subscribe. We'd love to hear feedback from you guys. I appreciate all the feedback we've been getting lately. You guys have been stepping up and leaving some really good comments. So we appreciate it, guys.
Yep.
And your comments are not going unheard. We do plan on checking out some of these films that you guys have been suggesting to us, even though we say it every week. Go ahead and leave it down there while you guys are there, and let us know what you guys want us to watch, because we got some coming up that you guys have suggested. So anyway, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We enjoy doing these every week. Until next time, I'm Chris Mass.
I'm Shane.
Get the hell out of here. We'll see you guys. Oh, he's stop motioning. Okay. A frame at a time. All right.
Yeah.